Magic.
Can you say under coven?
No.
Welcome to Under Coven with Sam
and Katie, the spiritual podcast for regular people.
Cool people. Fun people.
Just not boring people.
We hope you love it.
Okay, I know. It's
Running
like,
around is like my least favorite thing.
I know. It feels like.
And I used to do it all the time. Like
Yeah.
badly.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I think because I'm more in touch with my nervous system now, it like fucks me up and I'm aware that it's fucking me up.
That is such a good point.
Yeah.
It's like you have less tolerance for it because you
Yeah.
know how it's affecting you.
Yeah, like I can physically feel when in my physical body what's happening.
Yeah.
But I used to like intentionally work up until this very last second, knowing when I would make the train and then run all the blocks to the train to make it at like if I left 10 minutes earlier, I could have leisurely walked. Like it was an active choice. Like rushing around didn't bother me in the way that it does now. It like ignites me.
Mike and I were literally just talking about this because he's like, you're not chronically, it's 5 minutes late. Every time I'm 5 minutes late. Like like Link had a doctor's appointment this morning. It's 5 minutes. And if I just backtracked 5 minutes,
Right.
but I like can't.
That's fascinating. Michael and I have had this argument before because he's Southern.
Yeah.
So he operates at a very different speed and thought pattern than I do.
Oh, yeah.
And so I am never late. Like
You really aren't.
I am never late.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're always late. And I'm like, I am never late. I'm not late anywhere. And in his mind, I am because we're like rushing out the door and we're like doing things, but
Yeah.
we're not like, no, we're going to get there on
Yeah.
time. Also, somehow I'm like, it's happened to me once with you horribly, but somehow I'm always okay with the traffic patterns.
Yeah.
But like once at your house, I was like,
Yeah.
we're fucking
Yeah.
late.
But that's not.
But typically it's like, I know we have this leeway because the traffic's usually this, but right now it's this. So we're never late. But to him, he's like, we're always late. I'm like, we're not.
But it's also like maybe we both have this in common of like not wanting to waste time. Like I don't want to waste a second.
Exactly.
So I want to just get it all done at the end and like go.
Exactly. Like I was early for the chiropractor appointment today and it bothered me.
Oh,
like
same.
very
Yes.
early. And I was like,
Oh,
the fuck?
same.
I had this much extra time to do
Yes.
this many things. But also because we're so busy, we need to get a lot of shit done.
Right.
You had something you wanted to talk about and this was not where
Well, it's
it was
similar.
supposed to
So it's extremely spiritual.
go. Okay. Not at all.
It's not at all.
Okay.
So speaking of children, no, I'm not pregnant. Jesus Christ, you're looking at me. No.
Well, you gave
no,
up.
no. We are in the phase.
If you announced that to me on the show,
yeah,
I would kill you.
no, you like walk out.
I'd be like,
No, right. We are in a phase with Link. I don't think you're here with your kids yet.
Yeah.
Where we're obsessed with genitalia
Oh.
and
We're not
other
obsessed.
people's
Okay.
and talking about who has what.
Interesting. My friend has 2 daughters now, but her older daughter is how much? Link's like almost. He's
just
like
turned
8
3.
months older than my kids, right? They're the end of March,
God, that's a lot of math. April, May, June. Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so 8. That's significant
Yes.
in children's
Oh, yeah.
developmental time. Sydney is like 5 months older than my kids, and so it's incredibly helpful to have a best friend that is just enough ahead of you that they can like help you through all the like really difficult times because it's fresh in their brain, but they've done it first.
Yeah.
And I know what's coming, right?
Yeah.
So like or I guess maybe it's because she's a girl, but earlier than Link, but same thing, like would like be like, that's daddy's penis. And like other people's, my kids point about their own
Yeah.
right now, but they're not obsessed with other people's.
It is like, well, and your aunt is like a sex therapist. So we've learned so much about like, don't say inappropriate and like all these things.
Right.
But
yeah, thankfully, right? Like you think, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you again, but one of my other friends' husbands were like, what's the point to go to this workshop this young? And like, you're getting ahead of, so you know how to respond
Yeah.
because it does happen that
Yeah.
young. But please continue.
no, but it's like, oh, girls have vaginas, boys have penises, girls like pink. And I'm like, no.
He's
like,
saying that?
Yes, because he's hearing it from other kids and stuff. And it's such a weird thing where like, when I wasn't a parent, I was like, oh, I know how to do this. Or like, I'm inclusive. And I am.
Yes.
Very. But like, it is hard to like, they want black and white boxes when they're 2 and 3 years old. And if it's like, I don't know. So like I have been like, I just don't say much.
So what is he asking you questions?
Yes.
What is he asking?
Do they have a vagina?
Like the person
Do they have a
walking
pe-
down
yes.
the
And I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, because you're worried
Or like,
about...
I don't know what to do. It's like so
Yeah.
confusing.
Wow. Interesting.
Because you want to, it's like, does like, he's like, he's like, Tio, like his uncle has a penis like me. I'm like, yes.
Right.
Wake up in the morning and say that. And you're like, I don't know what the fuck to do with this. But I thought I would like have
like-
these eloquent answers to
Right.
like, it's so crazy when you're in it and you don't know what to say.
It's interesting too because with being a parent, like you think before you're a parent, because none of us have memories before a certain time.
Yeah.
That it's like, well, how much are they actually grasping?
Sure.
Like, how important is it? Whatever. They fucking grasp everything. I told
everything.
you the story the other day of the giraffe and the avocado thing.
No.
My kids are 2. Like, they're barely over 2.
Yeah.
And they really, they were playing with Winston's giraffe toy all day. And finally, he wanted it back. And so Everly got upset. And I was going to the store. And I was like, I'll find you guys giraffe, which this is probably not the best parenting move, but I was like, I'll find you guys giraffe while I'm gone. Like, just give it back to Winston. And they were like, okay. And I was going to fucking Whole Foods. Like, why I made this promise, I do not know. And luckily, Michael texted me, was like, how's your giraffe journey going? And I'm like, oh, shit. So I found them avocados, which someone laughed at me, was like, you brought them avocados. They were stuffed avocados. They weren't like the vegetable or fruit.
Right.
And they were these, and I walked in the door thinking like, this is great, whatever. And Maddox pops his head and goes, giraffes? And I was like, well, so I didn't find giraffes.
And you're like having to like explain yourself
I was
to
like,
it.
but I found something really exciting.
Yeah.
And I told them about, they both were like, avocados. And then that whole day and the next 3 days, they were like, no giraffes at the store, avocado instead. And I'm like, you're 2.
And you're like remembering. Yeah.
How are you? I can't ever say anything
No.
else now.
No.
It was like the moment of being like, no, anything I tell you is
Yes.
now sold,
Yes,
like
you think that-
solid.
right.
So it's true. It's like you think you answer and you're like, yeah, he has a penis, because then 3 weeks from now, Link's gonna be like, yeah, that woman walking on the street had a vagina. Like, it's internalized that much.
Exactly.
And it's insane.
It really is. And I don't like, I'm sure like there are right answers in parenting, but or like people have
Yes,
opinions,
yes.
right? But I just never thought of it being this like
Yeah.
I tend to, in this age, I'm gonna go with like the easiest black and white answer for now to give him, because it's his, like, yes, they're developmentally like way more ahead than you think,
Yes.
but they also want boxes.
Right. Well, because they can't conceptualize things. Like, they
Right.
can
Right.
understand
Exactly.
things, but they haven't experienced things to conceptualize them,
Yeah.
to like see differences and then be like, oh, I understand this now.
Yeah. But it's wild.
That's
It's just,
tough.
it's crazy.
I'm going to take this even more philosophical because I was having this conversation with Kelly, our therapist, somewhat. And so I said, and I'm going to butcher this because I don't follow her well enough, but you know Dr. Becky?
Yes.
So I was listening to her on Liz Moody's podcast.
Cool.
And she was saying basically the platform and like why where they stand and why they've created Dr. Becky Good Inside, whatever it's called, is that we are nothing else in the world do they just expect you to inherently know and intuitively know how to do. Like if you want to throw a baseball, you get taught, or whatever, however she references it. If you want to play piano, you learn how to play
There's
piano.
like training and coaches.
But with parenting, you're just like thrown into it and
Yeah.
you just assume that it's an intuitive skill. And Kelly came back to me and was like, well, do you not think it's an intuitive skill? And I was like, it's hard for me to answer that because for me, yes, I do, but also to a degree, first of all. And second of all, I would say more in touch with my intuition than the general public because our society is like just stripping it out of us. Like we are just so confused all the time and bombarded with everything from what to put in our bodies to how to parent our children. Like it's so many extremes. And so, but even if I'm the most intuitive parent in the world, how can you intuitively answer something about your son's penis, right? Like I don't have one. I don't know, so like I do think there are ways that you need to educate yourself and hopes that you're never going to answer it right? You're never
or whatever,
perfect.
right? You're going to fuck up. Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
But
it's so true though. And also like you can be as intuitive as you want to be, but you're still living in this society and you're still like, there's still like norms and cultural things that may not like.
And that bleed in and then you're like, well, is this intuitive or is this how? So also to this point is I wonder how other people feel like prior to everything that's happening now, which we won't get too in the weeds about, but in terms of like gender and
Yes.
acceptance and all these things, I think forever it's normal for young children
Yes.
to explore
Totally.
what they like and how they feel and what they want to wear and what they want to dive into. And it is perfectly healthy and great. And they have no idea who they are in the world. They have
Exactly.
so my son, and I was asking you this about Link, because my daughter has like flowy curly hair. She needs to have ponytails. He has very straight hair and sees her with her ponytails and always asks for a ponytail.
Yeah.
And my mom was out the other day and there was like she loves The Little Mermaid. Everly does. Not my mom, but sure, my mom probably does too. And there was like a nightgowny dress up thing of Little Mermaid. And she was like, so I wanted to buy it for her, but I felt bad because I wasn't gonna buy. I didn't like Maddox. It's for him, it's for her. And I was like, you probably should have just bought two because he's gonna want to wear it.
Right,
And
no matter
I
what.
don't care.
Yeah.
Like, but I wonder how people used to feel before there was such acceptance around this. Like,
Well, and
were
I
they
don't-
okay with
I
their
don't-
kids exploring those things? Or they're just like, that's not for boys, so you can't wear it? And even now, I'm
was
sure there
gonna
are
say.
two different camps where there are some people who are like, please explore, like me, like do whatever you want. I accept you and love
Well,
you.
you're making them gay.
Every single, right, exactly. And then there's people who are probably like weirded out by that.
Yeah.
Like Maddox asked for a ponytail, so I send him to school with his little sprout, and some parents probably think I'm weird, right? But like, what am I gonna say? No?
Link went to his 3-year-old appointment today with a ponytail.
Exactly, and it's so cute and
It's so
funny.
cute.
I think it's
well, and there's like
hysterical.
man buns, whatever. Like who cares?
Yeah, my little
also,
boy has a
like,
man bun.
If you're actually that concerned about it, like holy shit.
Well,
like,
someone was saying, was it Michael or my mom? The first day it happened, they were like, oh, it must be my mom. Michael would never call this out. But it was like, oh, people were giving him weird looks. I'm like, he's a 2-year-old. If everyone's giving him a weird look, that's their problem.
That's sad.
Right?
It's really sad.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about, I think part of what got us really into spirituality, I'm speaking for myself, but maybe for you a little bit too, is like our experiences with like professionals in the space that like clearly could not have been like coincidence
Yeah.
or like there's no fucking explaining it from like a logical standpoint.
Yeah. I think it's like the hard sell. Like you can believe in it. Like I was very spiritual as a child, which we'll talk about
Yeah.
another time. But then it went away, and then you get confused, or you never. You're less connected to your intuition as you get older, and then you don't know what's real, what's
Right.
not. You're just speculating everything, and then these things happen that you're like, it like smacks you across the face. Like
Yeah.
there's no denying X, Y, and Z thing. There's no denying that there's something else. There's no denying there's connection.
There's no
denying.
literally no way to explain it.
Correct. So yes, that's
So yeah, I want to talk about your brother if you're comfortable.
Yeah, of course. My brother, specific to these readings that happened, like
Yeah, and, yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll speak about how we got there in the first place. But so my brother died really abruptly. I was 26 and he was 31, and it was unbelievably unexpected and horrible. There's so much I could say in all these things, but for a while after, it is what brought me back to my spiritual roots, let's say, because there's a million ways you can take that when that happens. Like you can get angry, you can get blameful, you can get like, however you want to take that, or blame yourself, guilt, like there's so much. And there's stages of all of it that
Yeah.
are present. And I think like the overarching feeling can stick differently for different people. And for me, I was like desperately seeking connection. Like I guess somehow I believe that there was a way that I could connect with him. And so that's what I sought out. And weird shit, even from the get-go, weird shit happened
Yeah.
that like pointed to that. So
Wait, can I stop you right for a second?
Yeah.
I just want to say this is like I'm gonna try not to cry, but like this is so brave of you to talk about, and I can't like imagine like even thinking about like talking about this in like a soundbite or like do you know what I mean? It's
Right,
just
it's
it's
weird.
obviously so deep and personal.
Yeah.
And you're just really brave, and I think it's really helpful to like also show other people that there's like hope and there are ways to connect. So
Yeah. I mean, we could
Anyway.
do a whole episode on the stages and the grief and all the things. Because another separate tangent based on what you just said, but after this happened to me, not only did I seek connection, but I really, really wanted to help people who went through it.
Yeah.
So I still feel that way, especially because I'm nearly 10 years on the other side, which is insane to think about, and sad. And I can talk about it because I'm telling stories. It makes it a little easier. Like if I was to sit with you and like talk about other shit, I cry immediately. Like this is the one thing that was like my quick trigger. But I can tell stories about it in a more like, even keeled way. Also because they're just interesting.
Yes.
So my, in and of itself, the whole thing was terrible, but, and just, there's a lot of circumstances around it that I could go into the weeds, but my mom, for whatever reason, I think it was like the Star Ledger, like some random ass newspaper that they like, I think they maybe occasionally were still getting, showed up, and my mom opened it for whatever reason, and there was an article written about like the local article about losing a child in this group that you went like on the same day.
Wow.
So like the weird coincidence. And so my mom was very hesitant to do anything, of course, like I can't fathom.
Yeah.
So I'd crawl into a hole and die. I don't know how my parents to this day are even functioning. But she eventually sought out the group that was listed, and it was like no longer a group. So it was, but the woman who somehow somebody that she had spoken to that heard about it knew the person who wrote the article. And so they connected them, and that woman had started like a different group. And so like through this weird series of events, my mom finds this other group, and it was incredibly helpful for her because it was mothers that lost their children, and in this like very warm, loving, connected setting, not like we went to long story, went to like one support group that was horrible. It was like people just told their death stories and sat there and cried. It was awful. But then this group, which was just for mothers and just like connection, like sometimes you didn't talk about it at all, sometimes you did. And somehow that small parts of that group who were open to it had connection with this woman who was quote unquote a medium. But this is like a way, I can't say that like this is how you find someone real, because this is so unusual. No one will ever find this.
Yes.
She only read for mothers. No one knew her name or her real name or where she lived or had her phone number. You could not contact her. But because these children were coming through to her, intentionally seeking connection, she would ask for your information from the person in the group and call you directly. And there's like everybody wanted to talk to her. She would take like requests.
Sure.
But they couldn't reach her directly. They had to like tell someone else in the group who then when they spoke to her was like, hey, we have a new mom.
Wow.
And so there was a long list of people that wanted to be spoken to. And we were very lost, as anyone would be. And we were new to this group. And I think the woman mentioned like, oh, we have a new mom. And the medium was like trying to put pieces together because she was like, someone is trying to get through. They're blowing out the lights in my house and I keep seeing 31s all over the place. And that's how old he was. And we found out that like, that's one of his main communication pieces. So we like see it all the time in like wacky ways. And, she was like, is this person open to speaking? Because her son will not take no for an answer. And they were like, yeah, of course. So we scheduled this time. This woman's going to call us. Actually, I don't even know if the first one was like scheduled, quote unquote. I think she just called my mom and like, luckily we were all there and like huddled around the table, me, my dad, and my mom. And, so there's a million. So we'll go back and forth and I'll tell you all the other stories. But the very first one was that sequence of events is insane.
Yes.
And B, she starts describing things like, so in the very beginning, I don't know if this is this way with all mediums and people coming through, but the first call is like kind of weird because they're seeking to validate, to prove to you that like, this is real, this is me trying to talk to you. But the way the woman described it is like, it's kind of like someone speaking to you like underwater or with like a scarf wrapped around them. Like she's trying to decipher what they're saying because she doesn't know them.
Okay.
And then spit it back to you, the person who doesn't know her.
Yeah.
So there's like things that get lost in translation in the way that they're described. But once you sit with it and think about it, then you find them.
Okay.
So anyone listening would be like, well, that's what makes it bullshit. And like, yes, but no. So I'll tell you all the stories and you'll see why.
Yes.
But this first one specifically, he was talking about things in my parents' house, but not things that like the obscure shit. And it was like describing this one particular room, and it's like off the side of my house, and we're like, we don't use that room. Like, I don't know why, like why that would come up.
Yeah.
And mentions like a rose behind glass. And we were like, okay, well, there's only one set of glass cabinets in my parents' kitchen. There's no flowers behind it. Like, this is bullshit. Whatever.
Yeah.
And like a bunch of other things like that. We hang up and we're like, yeah, it could have been him. It sounded like him. Like, she called us. We didn't pay anything. Like, what difference does it make?
Yeah.
And also, my mom kept saying leading up to this, which she could say this to anyone, but before the call, my mom, before anything, she just was like, I just want to know he's okay. Like, sobbing constantly. I just want to know he's okay.
Yeah.
And me being the living human side of that, being like, you're never going to know that in my head, right?
Sure.
And that was the other, like, immediately was like, he has a message for mom. Like, he just wants to say, hey, I'm okay. Which any medium could tell that to any parent, like that wasn't necessarily the proof, but just how much she was saying that.
Yeah.
And so there was like a few things that really stood out. We get off the call. It was like, that was fulfilling for her because she heard that and whatever. And then we're like trying to piece things together. And in the room that he was describing that we do not use, there was a very old piece of furniture that is wooden with big glass panels that my parents store shit in. Like, we do not use it.
Yeah.
And didn't think anything of it. But like days later, whatever, my mom has to go get something out of that cabinet. And as soon as she opens it, there's a rose right there behind the glass panel. And it was from her mother's house. And like her mom had died when I was 11. So like in no way was she ever going to think about this. But like,
wow.
So it's the part that the point is it was like tiny, obscure things that are so specific that like, it's not like he would randomly have remembered that. And it's not like this woman could randomly make that up, like very specific things. So that first call was all like investigative reporting, basically.
Yeah.
Like, we're proving this and here's how we're going to prove it. So then there was like, well, we can't deny it. But the later ones I have are more insane, but I'm just going to stop talking for a second.
I mean, I literally the entire time you talked have full body chills.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the most like, I've never heard a medium story like this in my entire life.
No one has.
No.
And that's why I think not only did I was seeking this spiritual connection so much, but it is impossible to deny. And some of the ones that hopefully we'll have time to talk about today that I haven't told you, they're going to fucking blow your mind.
Oh my God. Okay.
Like, insane.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's like so hard to even follow that.
I know, and I'm sorry because like it's not.
There's nothing. Yeah.
The part that's shitty is no one hears from her anymore. So this was like a blip in time,
sucks.
but exactly what everyone needed.
Yes.
So
thank God for her. Mm-hmm. So mine is also from about 10 years ago, which is interesting.
That is interesting.
But I was in a very lost time in my life. I think I was living in Philly, and a friend from college posted somewhere that she was like kind of practicing her mediumship skills.
Interesting.
And so it was like an hour call. And I think it was like $50. It was like, yes, like, right?
Yeah,
Who doesn't want to, especially when you're feeling like lost? Sure.
Yeah.
So I remember going to like a room, like I was working in the newsroom at NBC in Philly, and I went into some room and like locked the door, which was whatever.
This is so funny. I just want to call out that all of your like quote unquote weird woo-woo things that made you uncomfortable somehow tie back to your work that you were like running away to hide and then but like doing some part of you was like you could get caught. Like you wanted to, right? There was like this piece of you that was like
and I would never ever tell anyone that I was doing that.
Right.
I would never tell like my coworkers.
Right. But you were always doing it somehow connected to work, which is just
totally.
really fucking funny.
Yes. So she started talking, and I've always felt like a deep connection to my. Have I told you this story?
No.
I don't think so. So like my maternal side.
Okay.
And so we started talking. She was essentially like, your great grandmother is like such a strong force for you. Like she is
Did you know her in your lifetime?
No,
Okay.
she was dead when I was born.
Okay.
But she is like she's chosen you for whatever, one of your angels, or I don't even know what I believe about that, but anyway. So she was like, she wrote a book of poems that you need to find. And so I go to my grandmother who was living at the time and I say, hey, did your mom ever write any books? Is there anything, whatever? And she's like, no, she's never written a book. She was an artist and she has beautiful paintings. But she's like, she has a cookbook. I can send it to you. I'm like, yeah, sure.
Right. Something.
Open the cookbook. It's full of poems about how like lonely she was, about like
I got chills. I never get chills. I just got chills.
it, like in between the recipes were these hidden poems.
And your mom had never opened it?
My mom, her mom, nobody. Or like, I don't know. They just didn't pay attention to them.
Right, because it was the cookbook.
Yeah.
They're like going for a recipe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? So
That's
like,
sad too.
it is really sad. Yeah. But there's like, I don't know how you explain that either.
No, and also that this like friend of yours was just like
Practicing.
trying it out.
She's like this book of poems.
Does
I'm
she
like,
still practice right now?
yeah, I think she does. But I think she's like, she does more like intuitive health stuff now, I think.
Oh,
but
interesting.
Anyway.
Clearly is connected.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Okay, back to
Oh my God.
Brothers.
I want to keep going. Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Well, did you explore further? Like, what was she seeking to hope you find, or she just wanted it like your?
I think it was
connection
just
to
a
her
connection
to-
thing.
yeah.
And I feel like that whenever I think about like power, and now even so both of my grandmas recently ish passed away. And like whenever I want that, like to feel like if I'm walking into a meeting or something and I want to feel powerful, I picture like both of them holding my hands going in. So I always feel very connected to that part of my like spirituality.
What was your great grandmother's name?
Great grandmother Ivy. And that's Scout's middle name.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I knew that was Scout's middle name. Also, beautiful, beautiful name.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
cool.
Thank you. I do want like there's so much I like yes, my story's crazy. You know, it's crazy too, but
Well, okay. I'll tell little snippets of other ones that are crazy, and I'll save the one that I thought was the craziest for after.
wait, for
You don't have another one? We're not gonna go back and forth again?
Well, no, I have another one.
Yeah. So I'll tell that one
Okay.
after yours, but I'll tell the snippets of the crazy ones in between.
Okay.
So we've had a multiple series of calls at this point, and for all of these have come together. It's not always on one call, but like these are the ones that stuck out from the series, I would say.
So and just for context too, would she just randomly call or would you guys schedule it? Or how
So
would it work?
after the first one was like a randomly call, and there were a couple times with random calls, and my third one was a completely random call, but it's kind of stressful because actually you're reminding me of another one that I forgot about. She would call most of the time my mom, because that's the main phone number she had, but it's from a blocked number. So anytime it would be like no caller ID, we would all like
Like,
run
run.
together,
Oh,
you
God.
know, and if we weren't together, it'd be like, I gotta go get your daddy's working outside or like whatever. And one of the times she called my mom when she was at work by herself, I forgot this one, you're just reminding me, and she was scheduling a future call. So but he was coming through. And my mom was standing, she's like kind of a big office, and she was standing looking out the window. There's like, it like looks over a child's playground because there's a daycare facility right there. It's the cutest thing in the world. And she was like watching the kids play while she was on the phone. And to close the call, she was like, oh, by the way, he wants to tell you to dust the violet petals. And she looks down and she's standing in front of all these violets that are like just dusty. And it was like,
The
I know.
fuck.
And so she's like, fuck, I gotta dust the flowers off. Yeah. Real flowers, but I guess she like had, she'd been so
Yeah.
not in.
Oh my God.
I know. So rarely was it a random call. Most of the times we scheduled them. But it was hard too because everybody wanted to schedule with her. So it was like,
Of course.
ideally
Like what
within this window. And she was really great about doing specific days. So like his death anniversary is the hardest day ever for me to this day. But also his birthday is hard. So it was like around important days usually. And for his birthday one, so his wife is Jewish, which typically is not into this kind. I don't think they believe in this, or they
Okay.
don't accept. They're not accepting of it. They often think it's like a scam. I think,
Sure.
which is also we're like, yeah, but she's not charging us. So like, what is she
Right,
getting
right.
out of this, right?
Right.
But so in the earlier phone calls, it had been like, no, she's not ready. Like if at any point she's going to be, Sam has to talk to her about it and maybe she'll want to speak. But for the most part, like she's not really ready to open up to this. So this is just calls with us. And we had scheduled a call, but I can't remember if it was like she had shown up early or she showed up late, but whatever was happening, she showed up like minutes into the phone call. So it was like, well, there's no avoid.
wife.
His wife showed up into one of the calls
Okay.
with the medium. I was like, well, there's no avoiding this now. And my mom was like, you have to tell her. He said that you have to tell her. And I was literally peeing. I was like, I'm in the bathroom and I can't. So you have to say something. And so,
Oh, so she didn't know about this?
no, it was like sprung on everyone. It was like
Okay.
not supposed to be happening. And it was his birthday. So that's why she was coming over, like have dinner with us, and we were all sad. And so then we're on the phone and we're like, are you open to this? Do you want to do this? And she was like, I guess. And so we don't tell the medium yet. And so she gets on the call and immediately she's like, so actually Matt's letting me know there are 4 pairs of ears tonight. And I in my head was like, well, Mocha's here, his dog. And I don't say anything. And she's like, wait a second, there's 5 and one's not human. And then I was like, of course, because his dog was his best friend. Like if he didn't call that out, I would have been a little skeptical, right? But it was insane, fucking insane. And then that whole phone call was bananas. But didn't seem like it was bananas at the time because she's telling all of these stories and we're like, we didn't do that. We don't know what you're talking about, whatever. Come to find out that it was like all these other people had celebrated him. And he was describing that he saw all of it, but she, like the medium doesn't know the people's names. So she's like, yeah, he said that he got the kiss that you blew over the sea. And she said, he's saying that he sees it's a big picture of him or it's in front of a picture, big life-size picture of him. We're like, life-size picture of him? Yeah. That doesn't exist. Life-size picture of him. And there's a blue and yellow cake and you guys sang and you blew out the candles and we were like, nope, didn't happen. We're like, we're assholes. We didn't even make him a cake. Like this is all made up. Like it feels shitty in the moment. And he's describing all this stuff, whatever. And we hang up and his wife is like shaken and kind of upset, but like she says she wants to speak to her again, which this is not a normal thing that this woman does, but she's like, yeah, of course, I'll take her phone number. I'll call her. Usually it's only mom. So our whole situation about this was weird. Yeah. And we like go off, whatever. And she then is like really freaked out and is like talking to people about it and comes to find out that her sister and her children went to the beach and blew kisses out over the ocean to Uncle Matt. And then the life-size cutout was, so my brother had 2 best men at his wedding and his senior photo of high school, he had flipped hair and frosted tips.
Oh, that's that's the thing.
However, 2000. Yeah. And so they blew up that photo for his wedding speech. And they like showed it around during the speech. And so they still had the picture. Aww. So they and it was like life size. So they put the picture and one of the friends' moms had baked a cake and they sang in front of him and they blew it out and the cake was blue and yellow. Like fucking insane shit that to us, we were like, this is all made up. And then come to find out that it was all stuff that happened that day, like factual, that we wouldn't have found out about.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I know.
Wow. So that's like, that you wouldn't have known about unless it was those things. And that's probably also so.
And I think it was important for her to get that validation.
Yes.
You know?
But also just to like know, like, it's like a glimpse into how big his legacy is and how much he means to different people.
People were celebrating him. Yeah, that meant a lot to us.
Oh my God.
I know.
Tell one more.
No, tell one more.
I like can't keep going. Do another one.
So this last one is really crazy. And there's actually two of the things that I forgot to mention about the previous ones, especially on the first call, this was just a beautiful message that I think is really important. So as this woman is reading for us, she's very confused because my brother first of all, he was brilliant, which I think is why my children are brilliant. But he had a very
You're brilliant too.
Yeah, I know. Had an intelligent, like witty sense of humor. So not everybody got him. And so this woman is like having to tell this stuff in his like weird indirect way. And she's like, he's very funny and I'm very confused. Like it was just like, and so we were saying that and she was like, personality transcends death. So it was not only are you getting these messages, but you do feel like you're talking to the person. This woman was that skilled. Yeah. But you feel like because it was things that like stupid jokes that he would say, or the way he was delivering the message was like, she's not going to know what he's saying, but we know him. So getting it. Yeah. And that was just wild. And then also on the first call, when we were like validating things, I got up to get a drink of water and she was like, Sam just walked away.
Holy shit.
I know.
Are you on like a speaker cell phone, like sitting around a kitchen? Okay, that's what I'm like picturing it so well.
And I had a laptop and I'm taking all these notes, which I have to go back and read all of them. At first, I think we were trying to write notes. The first few, we took them on paper, but you can't.
It's too fast.
And so I'm then taking the other ones. And then later calls, she told me that he said to stop taking notes, to just listen. So you tell one and then I'll tell the last one.
Okay. Well, this one is this is how I got into tarot. And it's basically like this is when I was having trouble getting pregnant with Link. And it's so funny how like I think, and this isn't like uncommon obviously, but when you're really seeking or desperate, like that kind of is the catalyst for a lot of these, like, I just need a reading. I just need to hold on to something. Right. And so I was like, I don't know if I can be a mom. It was like that.
Is it you felt that way because you weren't
Getting
getting
pregnant
pregnant, or you were then questioning the whole thing?
because it was taking so long and because I was having all these issues. I had to have surgery. I had to like,
I was gonna say, did you ever find out the reasons?
yeah. It was like I had a fibroid and I needed surgery.
Oh,
but then
you never knew that? Aren't they supposed to be painful?
no, they're not. They're like tiny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
But then it like took like 3 or 4 months after the surgery, which is not long. But
it
when you've
feels
been
so
trying for
long.
over a year, it's like
Yeah.
yeah. So
and each failed attempt,
Oh my
failed,
God.
quote unquote attempt, each time you get your period is pure devastation.
It is.
And I'm not speaking about this from personal experience, so I don't
Yeah.
want to diminish it, but I've lived with friends who are, and I can't imagine what that wave of emotion feels like. It's just like
it's
complete
so
letdown.
intense. Yeah. And I like nothing for me will compare to like not knowing if I could have a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, and the problem is that no one can like assure you for sure.
Yeah.
You know, you can of course figure out a way
And
to
go other
right
like,
routes, of
yeah,
course.
but
But
still.
anyway, so I was in like a Facebook group and found this woman that was doing like, hey, I want to practice readings, and then I got connected to her, and somehow she mentioned her teacher was offering readings. And she would do recorded voice notes, which is my favorite kind of reading because it lets you listen to it back.
Yeah.
You're not interrupting with your own thoughts or like
Oh, that's
interjecting or like trying to like
validate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a stream of consciousness.
Oh, this is Kate?
This is Kate.
Oh, wow. By the time I had gotten a reading from her, I don't know that she was offering it this because
She still does recorded.
Yeah, but I'm always on them.
Oh, I'm not. I never am.
Really?
Never.
I've always been on the calls with her.
No.
Every time.
I've never done them.
One time she had video, but other times she hasn't.
I prefer the recorded.
Well, now I get that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know there were different.
Oh, there's
I wonder
options.
because you know how she has different offerings. I wonder if we booked different offerings.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah. So anyway,
Wow,
I just
interesting.
so prefer, I get out of my own way. I can kind of just
Yeah.
focus on the message. And obviously now I know that this was like, 4 years ago, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And never knew this woman, heard whatever.
Right.
She not only predicted, I was like, what should I do with my career? And like, I know I want to have a baby, but like, it's not happening. And like, give me some sort of direction or guidance. And she's like, you just need to focus on being a mom. You're about to be a mom. And also your husband needs to just embrace the magic of this time because we've had friends that have experienced so much loss and like, miscarriages and other problems
Yeah.
that Mike
was
didn't.
afraid.
Yeah, he didn't want to get excited in case there was like he was trying to protect us.
Yeah.
And she like directly called him out on that. And he got like a little mad at first because he assumed that I like told this woman about my relationship.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
You're
that
like,
at all.
Not spoken at all. I don't
Right.
even know her.
And it instantly changed like the way he handled it. And I wrote a little sign that said like embrace the magic that I hung in our bathroom.
Love that.
And obviously had a beautiful baby boy, but
Did she say you're currently pregnant?
she said
She alluded to it.
I got the Empress, I got all the cards. She was like, this reading is about preparing for pregnancy, not about
And you were pregnant.
yes.
Yeah.
I got the reading 2 days after the positive test. So no one knew.
Oh, but you did know during it.
Yes.
Interesting. I thought you found out after.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. And to me, it's just like, who's going to tell a stranger that they're pregnant or about to be pregnant?
Right.
What a fucking bold, like,
Right.
like that. There's no winning in getting that wrong.
Right.
Like, or
You
even,
just- you'd feel really bad if you
right.
were wrong. Yeah.
So, and her reading Mike's energy around it, just for both of us, we were like, it changed the way we dealt with the pregnancy. It changed the way that we see all of this
everything
stuff.
you needed.
Yeah, and it obviously transformed. Like I took a tarot class from
Yeah.
her, and
was
it was my like catalyst moment into a lot of this world because you can't
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's like, I don't care what anybody else thinks. This is validation
Yeah,
that there's
undeniable.
a connection.
Something greater.
Yeah.
Yeah. The part that I forgot until this moment, you telling this story, is another wild thing is like Kate is a big deal now. Like I think a lot of people.
Kate Van Horn, yeah.
Kate Van Horn.
Yeah.
People know who she is. Her book is on our shelf. Like
In the
they're-
spiritual world, yes.
Yes. Well,
Not,
she's-
she is a big, of course.
She's a big deal in life. But she, as recently, I feel like in the last year or so, become more seen, more known, more, she's written a book.
yeah.
She's, but before that, you found her randomly down this path. And when we met, you were like, Kate Van Horn. And I was like, yes, I've known Kate Van Horn for years and years at this point through a random friend connection because Michael and his best friends went to college with her best friend that she used to run these like spiritual events with, like
Which is
random. And then
yeah.
Kate and I connected. We had this really long phone call. She invited me to one of the events. Like we just connected and became friends.
Yeah.
And you and I then meet here, completely disconnected ways of life.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we both know this deeply rooted spiritual human.
Yes.
Totally no connection in
Yes.
our lives about her.
Yes.
And that was our catalyst for this kind of
Totally.
crazy.
And our first meeting was
Destined.
so romantic.
Predestined.
I'll never forget. I was wearing my big fuzzy purple coat.
Yeah.
We got coffee.
Yeah. I actually can picture you sitting right across from me. You had a headband on too. And you were just like waiting for me.
I think I was pregnant.
You were pregnant.
Okay.
You were pretty pregnant. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you had Scout not that long after.
I think it was
like
like
a few months.
October or November.
Timing is terrible for me. I'll never be able to tell you a year or a month that I did anything, but I deeply remember the
Yes.
experience. I was late to a hair appointment.
You
because
were.
of it. And I was like, and they were like, if you're late, these get canceled. And I was like, it was worth it.
Oh, it worked. No, it was great.
Yeah. Okay, my last
Yes.
one. So this one's extra crazy. And I know I've already described like her saying things that were happening in live action, but this entire one was. And it was extra weird because of the way she operated. So Michael and I had been dating already. He never met my brother, which really fucking sucks. But I was nice when I was going back in some of the notes to try and jog my memory. One of the things was like, he really liked your guy. And Michael and my brother didn't like anyone I dated because he was super protective. And plus, none of them were as great as Michael. So I know he would have loved him. So that part sucks that they aren't buddies, but at least in this lifetime. But we were dating and my brother died. So we had already had these plans that we were going to move to Charleston. And my best friend and I had lived in the city together and our lease ended in December. And so we moved out. She moved in with her now husband. And I was already, before my brother died, going to move to my parents' house for like a month or two.
Okay.
Because I wasn't going to sign a lease, but he didn't have to be in Charleston until like May. So I was going to go in like March timeframe. And so I was already in the process of like securing a job, but it was, a big, we were both moving across the country, different places. So that was our timeline. It was like, I'll be home for a month or two. I'll commute into the city. It'll suck, but like whatever. And my parents are like 45 minutes outside of it. It's not horrible, but
it's not great.
Idea when you're living there and you're like walking to work every day. And then I'll move and it'll be fine. And then he died February 1st. So part of it was serendipitous that I was with my family and with my parents.
Wow.
And then, so I pushed my timeline out.
Yeah.
So he still moved for the start of dental school, but I stayed in New York, which was also kind of good that I hadn't like left my job yet or anything. It was like we had that little window. So I ended up living home for longer than I would. I don't know what process is best. It was hard because instead of processing my own grief, I was carrying my parents.
Yeah.
I think we needed to be together.
Yeah.
So I was there for a while.
How long? Yeah.
Like 7 or 8 months. Like it was a while.
Oh,
and
wow.
the commuting was not ideal.
Yeah.
But we needed to be. Like
Yeah.
it was tough. But then after that is when my grief started, like once I moved. So it was kind of awful. Like place all by myself. He was at school, so he didn't have the time for me. We also had never lived in the same city, and we've not only moved to the same city, we moved to the same home.
That's so
it was
intense.
interesting.
Yeah.
And I had just lost a brother. So
Yeah.
our relationship was rough in the beginning.
Yeah.
But anyway, So before I had moved, he was subletting because, again, we weren't going to sign any contracts. Like, we knew we had this plan in place. So I was going to move, I guess by then it was like July or August instead. So I would visit him. He was subletting from this guy. His name was Benjamin, but because I am me, I just met him and started calling him Benji. He was so not a Benji type, like, but it was cute and he was lovely. And so he was subletting from this guy. And he was at school one day, and I was sitting in his room on the bed, and
Sitting in Benji's room?
Michael's.
Michael's.
And I guess probably working. I
Okay.
think I was working remotely because I was visiting. I don't think it was the weekend yet. I think I came a couple days early. And I get a phone call from no caller ID. And again, she only calls moms. So she's calling me directly.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, maybe she's trying to get in touch with my mom. So of course, immediately pick up. I think Michael and I had plans or something. And I was like, plans are over. This is happening.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, it's me. Matt's calling, whatever. I'm calling just to talk to you if that's okay. And I was like, yeah. And it was everything I needed to, because the conversations were different with my parents than would be with me. Just like our relationship
Of
was
course,
different
of
than
course.
it would be. So it was the best call I had had. Because
How?
it was,
So this is when you were visiting.
yes.
Got it. Okay.
Visiting Michael. And so like,
Which is crazy that Matt knew that you
exactly,
were
the timing
away
on
from-
purpose, because otherwise I'd be in my parents' house.
Yes.
Yes. Like, so many little nuggets of this story are so important,
Yes.
of like why this was.
Yeah, because your mom, of course, would be like,
Yeah, right. And then it'd be
Speaker,
like, it would be
right.
a phone call for all of us. Why would she be calling me? Whatever.
Right.
I don't even know how she got my phone number.
wow.
Like, maybe we must have
I'm
given
sure,
it
right,
some
like,
time.
logistically, sure.
Yeah, she didn't just know it. But I'm just saying, like, there was no time when we were like, in case you need to, maybe
Yeah.
like she was trying to get in touch with my mom one time. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was like, I had not just given it to her or anything. And so there's a million, I'll end with the part that really shook me, but the whole call, she's like, not only are we like having a chit-chatty conversation, and she's delivering me messages of how like, basically I need to move and I need to let my grief kick in, and I'm carrying things for them, and like the things that they're feeling, and describing the things that they're feeling to me, and what and how I'm holding them, and all these. It was like a very important
therapy
call,
session, yeah.
that I needed to hear, and trickled in with like wild shit. So she describes the room that I'm sitting in.
No.
And
That's like-
describes and I'm like sitting on the bed, so I'm not paying attention.
Yeah.
And she's describing like, is there like the outside of the house, like, is there a porch off the window you're looking at? And through the porch, can you see people walking by? And is the porch brown? And I have to like go out the window to see, because I don't know that. It's this weird subletting house. And it's describing like to a T
Oh my
the
God.
things that
Oh
I'm
my
seeing.
God. Oh my God.
Says that like he loves my purple aviators, and how when I'm looking at them, he's looking with me. And I had like this reflective mirror, specifically purple lensed aviators with me. All this crazy stuff. But again, because a lot of it was like confusing language,
Yeah.
some things hit and some things don't. So she's like, he's talking about fishing. And I'm like, we're not going fishing. I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, she's like, did you eat tuna fish for lunch? I'm like, no, like none of this is
Yeah.
landing. I'm like, this is so bizarre. My brother's favorite band was Fish. But again, like, we're not going to see a show, whatever. And so eventually it clicks, and I'm like, oh. I'm drinking out of a glass that has the Fish logo on it that I saw in the cabinet. And of course it made me think of him, and it was sitting next to me in the bed, and she's like, that's it, whatever. And I'm like, that's wild. And so we hang up the call, whatever. Michael had come home, but he was like
Yes.
leaving me alone. So he comes in, and I tell him all the stories, and then I tell him the Fish one. I'm like, isn't this crazy? And Michael had lived there for like a month at this point. He's like, Sam, I've never seen that glass. And I was like, well, maybe it was it got moved, whatever. Like, it wasn't right in the front. I saw it in there.
Yeah.
He's like, I've never seen that glass. I left, whatever, because Benji wasn't home. He goes and he like says to Benji, he's like, do you like fish, whatever? And Benji's like, that's not mine.
What the fuck?
Isn't that one the craziest? Like, it just appeared.
Oh my God.
Oh, one more.
Yes.
Which is not medium related, but another
Yes.
thing just appearing. Matt and Lauren, my brother wasn't like that sappy of a guy.
Okay, yeah.
And I guess he kind of was, but we didn't know it, right?
Yeah.
And so when I don't know how this ever came up, but something with owls. And they would then say to each other, like, I'll love you forever.
Aw.
And when she said it once, I like didn't believe it. Like, I'm like, I can't imagine him saying
Yeah.
that, right? And then I don't know if it was like a note he gave to her at the wedding or something, but there was like a picture of it, something, a note that he wrote or she wrote, and it was "I'll love you forever" was written.
Oh.
I was like, this is so sweet. Like
Yeah.
that's a thing between them. And so Michael and I moved into a house in Charleston first. It was like a 1-bedroom house, but it was a little house in downtown Charleston. And my parents came to help move me, and we all drove down together. He was already there. And obviously by this story, I've told a million times. And my mom comes because she's like through and through her a mother and like
Yeah.
hard work or whatever. And no, like her mom. And like when you move into a house, like you clean the shit out of it top to bottom.
Okay.
And so we're unloading everything and doing all the hard labor. And she is scrubbing this house top to bottom.
Okay.
And so because of that, the house is completely empty. People had moved out
Yeah.
of it. There is a single mug, huge mug in the cabinet that has 2 owls with a heart on one side and "I'll love you forever" on the other. I still have it. Sitting in the house.
Holy shit.
And I totally would have forgotten that too if we hadn't just been talking about these random things.
Did you tell Lauren about it?
I did.
Yeah.
But like that in and of itself
Yeah.
restrained and tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like hard to hear,
Of
right?
course.
That,
I
like,
think-
it's beautiful and so
Yeah.
truly.
That's is it are you at the point now where like would you want to ever talk to another psychic or medium?
That's the part that's so hard because yes, and I'd have to go into it knowing it's not going to be like
Yeah.
that at all, ever.
Yeah.
And same thing for my parents. Like I think when she stopped calling, it was tough.
Tough,
They,
yeah.
they desperately wanted to talk to her again, like hoping she would call. I think it was exactly what we needed when we needed it and sort of became a crutch. So I
Yeah.
think it went away for a reason.
Yeah.
Do I wish it was now sporadic where it wouldn't be a crutch? It would just be awesome.
Yeah.
100%. Like,
Yeah.
Deeply. Which is kind of also why I then sought this out because I wanted to have be able to communicate with him and connect with him on my own.
Yes.
And I'm still afraid of it and blocking myself.
For sure.
So-
That all makes sense to me. Though.
Yeah. So my mom has even talked, I have to call this woman. Oh, this person said this person's good. I have to call them. I have to call them. And none of us ever take action on it.
Yeah.
Because all these other people charge, like they're making a
course.
living, which is great. They should,
Right.
right? And we have this other experience that it
Nothing
was
will
just
ever-
true. It was just
Yeah.
coming from the essence of her soul because she wanted to help moms, right? Like
Yeah.
there was no other reason. So I do really want to talk to someone else, and I'm sure I'd be like, well, that wasn't great.
You would have to be so incredibly picky and it still would probably be a letdown.
and how do you even be picky? You read someone's website,
Or you hear an experience like this of somebody that
right.
like obviously charges and exists and like
Yeah.
that you can track.
And I've never heard someone tell a story like this.
No.
Even the mediums that are like famous.
No.
Like I
No.
don't know that they're describing shit like this.
No. Well, I also think it's like there's different levels of your openness to it. And obviously
True.
your family is like literally the openest, most open
true.
window that
Yeah,
could
like,
ever be.
please give us whatever we're willing
And Matt's
to.
super connected too. So like it's a very like
Yeah. And
easier.
it was fresh.
Yeah.
And I say that in the sense that like his soul had just changed planes.
Yeah.
So I wonder I'm going to disprove myself in the same moment because my dad had a brother that died young
Okay.
and he came through in one of the readings.
Wow.
And like this woman didn't know that. And the things that she was saying, it was really fucking wild.
Wow.
But he was like, Chuck, do you have a brother? Did he die young?
Whoa.
Like, is he, and describing all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, though, to your point, it's when it's fresh is when you're really seeking, like, and need that
I think
assurance and
that from a
validation.
spiritual perspective.
Yeah.
Like the communication window might be more open. And I say that because I'm sure you heard these stories a million times, but like how connected children are.
Yes.
And they're like telling wild things that you're like, how do you know this? And then as you get older, that goes away. So I think like their souls are closer connected to that other plane, and people who have just passed are closer to the human plane initially. And then I'm sure over time there's distance. I'm obviously making all that up because I have no idea, but that's my assumption.
Yeah.
And how all of it works.
Like, that would be an interesting thing that, like, obviously we could never prove, but, like, how is that decided and who comes through and why and what timing and, like,
Right.
all of that? It's
Because
so,
also within these readings, like weird people would come through.
huh.
that we'd be like, who?
Yeah.
And then it would be like sometimes a distant family member. Then you're like, oh yeah, that is blah blah.
Yeah.
But it was like, why?
Yeah.
You know. At one time, my dad's dad came through too.
Oh.
Yeah, and then other like distant family members of my mom's, just like sporadic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all wild.
Yeah.
So when my dad's mom died, she said her death was very prolonged, and like we had a lot, like I remember sitting outside at my 8 or 10 week appointment for Scout and us saying goodbye, and she's like, my sign for you is going to be fireflies. That's going to be how I communicate. And I'm like, first trimester sobbing no matter what,
oh my
right?
God, right.
And then she lived for another like 3 months, which was it's very her, like a little dramatic, like this is the last time you're gonna talk to me, and then like we kept texting.
But actually, you're gonna talk to me
Yes!
again, then again.
Which is like, and yeah, we saw, Mike and I went to New York to see a show. It was like Maybe Happy Ending. Have you heard of it? It's amazing. They have this like firefly part where like the entire stage like goes, and like, so that this would be a very easy one for someone to be like, a play has fireflies that you saw. Wow. But it was so intense.
Wait, I don't think that's wow at all. Why would a play have fireflies?
I don't
that's
know.
not
It was-
and that's the play. You know how many fucking plays there are that you could have chosen to see?
It was, we were both sobbing.
Yeah.
It was like, like, holy shit, she's here.
Yeah.
It is such a weird
I
thing.
think that's crazy.
Yeah. There's just so many experiences like that it's like, how do you?
And the thing, I don't know if the medium had said this to us or if someone else did, but it's true, right? Like in the very early stages, you kind of want to dismiss everything that you're like, is this a sign? It's not. It's just a song, or it's just it's just this, or it's just that. But the more open you are to it, the more you see them.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can be searching for connection, but a lot of times it's like random shit that you're not. Like you feel like you're searching because you want to explain it away somehow.
Totally.
But you're like, no, this is a message, or this is a thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
that this happened. Michael told me a long time ago that I should write them all down, and I never did.
It's hard to like,
But one time I went to this like early stages too. We lived in Charleston. Went to the Sex and the City trivia with 2 newer friends I had made there at a like beer garden, and it was just the 3 of us, and we sat, they gave you trivia numbers, and the numbers were all over the place. It was like 512, 4, like whatever, and ours was 31.
wow.
Like there's just, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I could see that's nothing, or
Sure.
but the numbers weren't like 1 2 3 4. It was like sporadic random numbers, and that's the one they sat at our table. You know, it was like either he's saying
yeah.
hi or it means nothing, but you do with it what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's when Mike's brother died. Like his favorite band was Blink-182, and it would not stop playing in our car. Like
Yeah.
no matter what, it was like somehow it would come on.
Yeah, there's like obscure songs that my brother liked, more obscure artists, but I knew that we both loved music deeply.
Yeah.
And my mom and I went to like a liquor store. I guess I was going out with friends or something, so she went with me, and we were like grocery shopping, then got a bottle of wine, and one of the like random bands from like the 90s starts playing, and it's like, yes, we can say this is nothing.
Sure.
But like, why would this song, this
What are the
random
odds?
song be playing in the liquor store? Like,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so much.
Can we talk about bad reading?
Please, you have better
Hard
stories
pivot.
on that. Yeah.
Yes. So as we know, like love readings and like just love all this stuff. And one of our friends, Kate, who we love dearly, recommended this, or she didn't actually recommend it. She just was like, I got this past life reading. This person does it.
Well, I think she didn't go for it seeking past lives. So I do think the 2 of you maybe had different, like, similar but different experiences, because
Okay.
she was looking for like, because both her and I were both looking for readings around here at the same time.
Okay.
So I remember she was looking for like cutting energetic things
Oh,
that were
right.
tied to her.
Yes.
And she was like, I feel like this shit's following me around, and
Yes.
I want to get rid of
Yes.
it. So that was her, like,
Her thing.
purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. And then she told us all about it, and then you went and saw the same person.
And I went and saw the same person.
Yes.
And my first sign should have been that she thinks like her energy field is being intercepted by the Pentagon. So that was
Wait, I want to back up a
strike
little
one.
bit, because we are going to talk about like deciphering what's going to be good or bad.
Well, and
in
I also
readers.
like going to a home, like somebody else's home.
the somebody else's home part, because that's the one bad one that I have too, is creepy.
It is creepy. And then you're like
It
stuck
doesn't
and it's like
have
vulnerable.
to be, because some people do things out of their
Sure.
home that's nice.
Yes.
But for the one time I went to, and also was yours like this? Like, it would be one thing if it's someone's home and then they have a home office or something that's like a separate space. But for the one that we went to, it was just like, come in my door, sit in my living room. Like, this is weird. Was yours like that?
No, it was a separate floor, but it still felt.
Like
It
in
was
their
a home.
space,
Yes.
weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm walking through there, seeing their kitchen and
That's what I mean.
Yes.
Like, if this is so different, but my aunt, they have a separate like part of their house that is her home office. She's a therapist. She's not a reader of some sort. But I'm picturing the space, and it's lovely and very secluded.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a way to create it if that's what you're doing.
Right.
But if you're like
basically like
opening
saying
up
hi to the husband. and walking through
exactly, and like seeing everything about this person's life, and then there's something weird.
There's like you want a little bit of like a
Distance.
professional,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And it was so intense. The past lives that she said that I had, and they were all so traumatic and so like.
Wait, did you only go off the Kate connection, or did you like look into this person? Like,
I
do they
looked
have
into them a little bit. I mean, and
website?
she was. I think for Kate, it was like for what she was seeking, it was great.
Right.
And I was just like, cool. I love to get reading.
Yes.
And I just kind of want to see what happens.
Did she have a website? Was there
Yeah.
any?
Oh,
did
yeah.
you have any clues of like maybe this is going to be wacky? I'm asking from like someone's perspective if they're like doing their deep dive. Like, did you?
Yeah, I mean, so I think for me, the number one thing that I look for in a reading is if someone else has a good experience.
Right. So you went in being like, this is going to be good.
I'm like, it's a local person that they think is good. And I don't know any good local readers.
Yeah,
so
they
like
don't
if they can,
exist.
right.
Yeah.
And
Well, Carly, actually, now
Yes.
we're starting to find.
we're starting to find
Yeah.
the DC area people. But the intensity of like what she described to my past lives as, it like, I couldn't like sit there with a straight face and like,
What did you do?
it's like she has like this pendulum and it's like, oh, like this is really bad, and everything is like really bad,
Right.
and it's like, I mean, like, and this is trigger warning, right? Like
Yeah.
like saying that like I was raped in all of these past lives, and then everything has like a tragic ending. I'm dying early, which I've felt before, that like I've died, like I don't know why, but I feel like that.
I have one that I feel that way about.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But she talked about Mike's favorite, that I was like this little Dutch boy
Oh, right. I forgot.
and you picture like this little haircut that was like in love with their mom.
Oh.
And then like died really early. And it's like, and she's just telling me like, you were in love with your mom and it wasn't reciprocated and then you died. I'm like,
Cool.
awesome. How is that empowering? Like, what is
Right.
the like,
And did you, it's not like you went in and you were like, can you tell me about all my past lives? Like, she just starts like word vomiting?
I mean, she like, there is supposed to be like some connection to like, the shit that you're carrying and that you need to
Sure.
let go of. And then like you lay on a table and she's like helping release all of these past lives. I was so like turned off by the like detailed descriptions of like being like a slave and like being
Right.
taken advantage of, and then taking my revenge at some point and being this man that like did really bad
Pillaged.
things. Yes. Like, okay. Like there's just, it made me feel like
Yeah.
shit.
Right. So you're like, what is this resume?
Right. And
How
then
is this
she
helping
was
me?
like, you need to come back. You need to keep going. There's,
That's
and
the
I'm
part
like,
that gets tricky,
icky.
and why you're like, I don't believe in this then, because no
Yeah.
one who is doing this, they're not going to be like, let's schedule 10 readings because that's how long it's going to take you to clear this. Like, it's up to the person to choose their journey. And like,
well, and
I'm
like,
here for you.
tell me some good thing that I did, or
Also
like,
true.
tell, like, was I just like being abused or abusing? Like,
Right. I'm
come
just
on.
terrible
Like,
all
right.
around.
It's
What am I, what's bad about me in this lifetime, lady?
Right.
Yeah.
But it was, and I think overall, just and I think you can resonate with this. Like, I don't need like that much of the dark stuff. Like, I just don't like, I want to be real.
Unless you feel like it's deeply impacting the person and you
Yes.
need to help them clear it. But really skilled readers, like, sit back. At least I've spoken to a bunch of them, so I can
Yeah.
lift this experience. You either sit back and like ask permission to tell from the message you're getting, and sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no, or how to best deliver it. Like,
Yeah.
you're not delivering it in the way that this sounds like this woman is saying these things to you.
well,
Like,
it's just kind of like, yeah, that sucks.
right, exactly. It's like, what's going to be helpful, and how do I tell them this without,
Well, it's just like, okay, this is all heavy. I'm like,
Right.
cool. Like, the fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
and also like healing is not about dumping a bunch of heaviness on
right.
you.
So I was pregnant. I was very pregnant. So it's like, right. It was just a bizarre experience.
That's bizarre.
And like laying on my back, I'm like, probably shouldn't be doing this for like
Also,
an hour.
also, a reader who knows what they're doing would prop you up or
Right.
get you in a
I think
different
that she
position.
might have propped me up a little bit, but
Okay.
I'm eager to talk to somebody that's really good with past lives
And see if those come up or something similar.
but also just to like have a better experience with it. Because right now I'm like skeptical of, I have like my thing about past lives is like, I have places there that I felt like I've been before.
Yeah,
like
that's the thing.
Argentina or California or downtown Chicago. Like I'm like, my body feels.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's what I believe right now. But like, it just kind of feels like all right, this pendulum's going this way.
Also, from what I know about pendulums, they're yes or no answers.
Okay.
So you hold it, because I have one.
Yeah.
I don't practice with it, but you hold it, and I have no idea which, but one, it'll...
Oh, yeah, there's like a circle one.
And no, all of them. You hold it still, and it swings in one direction. That means yes. It swings in one direction. That means no. And you're not moving.
Okay.
And you ask questions, and it moves on its own. I've seen people do it. Like,
Yeah.
I've watched it.
Yeah.
And watch their hands not move. Like, I watch the whole thing, and it changes on its own.
That's
I know.
crazy.
So that's how I know you're supposed to use them. So
Okay.
I mean, there is another way, but I think it's still yes, no. It's like if to read someone's energy, like if you're holding it on their chakras or something, and if it spins clockwise or counterclockwise, like it
means
could be
different
blocked or
things.
unblocked, but it's like it needs work moving through.
Yeah.
But I don't think the way you're describing, I've never heard it used like that, where it's just like swinging like crazy and you're, like maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know how people...
And maybe I wasn't like open enough to it. And also I feel like my reading was so similar to my friends.
Yes,
that,
that's
like,
the part that's other super skepticism. It's like, oh, you also had this wild past life?
So I just,
Feels a little prey.
yeah. And that happens.
So I've had a bad reading on the other end of the spectrum, where it's not like so bad that it's like making you feel a certain way. It's so bad that it's like you're saying nothing and I'm paying you for this. You know?
It's like, oh, you're supported.
Right. So like it's similar to that both of these were positioned as like past lives, quote unquote. We need to get a good past life reader on here.
We do.
Because it was like we were in yoga training in Charleston, and so all of us
It's
were
also
like,
really bad if you think it was not.
it was
specific.
so bad.
Okay.
I know, right? Because I believe anything.
yes.
It was so bad. It was so bad, but super interesting because for one of my friends, it was like very specific and like not what she would want to hear, and I don't feel comfortable sharing hers.
Okay.
Because
Was it like you're gonna get divorced or something?
she wasn't married yet, but it was
Like,
similar.
oh, shit.
And so everyone walked out being like, "That's bullshit," because it was like,
You're like,
wait, this is
sorry.
really specific, but nobody else's was good or specific like that. So that was weird. But anyway, so it's somehow one of the girls finds like this past life reader. I think it was like through Facebook, like it was like a rabbit
Random,
hole,
yeah.
and it was cheap. So it's like, yeah, we're gonna go together, and then the two of us were like, we'll come with you. So the four of us go, and it's like that. It's weird. It's at this person's house. We just like park outside. We're like, where the fuck are we? And luckily it was four of us, so we all go in, and then it's just like sitting in this person's home. Like to use the bathroom, you had to go through her son's bedroom. Like,
Oh,
just
God, yes,
fucking weird.
yes.
So in and of itself, I felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But then part of the reading to set it up says bring an item.
Okay.
Like it tells you to like for whatever reason bring an
Okay.
item. And so you'd think like, oh, well, yeah, you could speak this away. Like, well, the item that you choose must have been connected, if you really want to like
Sure.
convince yourself of it. But I don't think the specific aviators that my brother was referencing, but like I have a million pairs of aviators. So I bring a pair of aviators.
Yeah.
And someone else brings something else, whatever. And so for my reading, she like pulls tarot cards, which
Okay.
is not connected to a past life reading typically.
I've had past life, no, but like medium stuff. Yeah.
Well, this was like, it was weird because it was positioned as a past life, and then she starts pulling out tarot cards. They honestly might have also been oracle cards. Like,
Okay.
it was all like just
also
throwing
that's-
everything at the
yeah,
wall, kind of
yeah.
throwing spaghetti at the wall type situation, and describes whatever she describes to me. It was like, I mean, part of it at the time landed because I think I said to you before, and when we were with Carly, that like I did get a number of readings about how powerful I am
Yes.
in this space, and I didn't like it, and I was like, well, I'm not, so I don't know what these readings are saying because
Yeah.
I don't do any of this. So that stuff came up, so I was like, oh, people have said this before, maybe it's real, whatever. But it was like that specific stuff. And then it was definitely oracle cards because one of the cards was medicine wheel and it was like reversed. And she was like, this means this. But then she was like, well, you were very cool in a past life. Like you see through these glasses. I'm like, okay. Like it was like that. Like it was like, these are your glasses and you looked through them and you are very cool and like a musician. I'm like, because I brought aviators? Like, come on. And all of the readings were like that. And it was like, just like, pulling at whatever.
Wow.
And we all walked out like, mm-hmm. But then my one friend's, it was like bizarre.
and negative and dark.
Negative.
Oh God.
Well, it was like, yeah, it was not good. And she was my closest friend and she's like a lovely, lovely human. I love her. But I just remember being like, I need to support her. Be like, that was bullshit. Because it was like weird. Like, and one of those things that's like, why are you saying this to someone?
Exactly. So that I think, those are my things is like, in general, I think finding someone that has a good experience obviously is a good way to find someone. But also like if they are focusing on things like that, like when I read tarot, I would never be like, you're getting divorced or like you're not like
exactly.
Like it's just
you figure out the way as a normal human being.
Yes.
But I think it's also one of those things that why we're doing this and why we have this is because for me and the way you're describing this, like both of these people seemed like very out of touch with reality.
yes.
So like they're not even thinking how to deliver the message,
Right.
Because they're just like whatever, And I think there is an existence of a human that's really connected and good at this, and similar to you with tarot, like knows how to say what to say,
Yeah.
and what the person if you are intuitively connected, what the person also needs to hear. Like maybe you feel obligated to deliver this bad message, but like deliver in a helpful way that they can take things from it that then they're gonna take action on.
If you don't have one foot in reality, like
You can't do that.
You can't like see the person in front of you that like what they actually need.
Exactly. So it's hard to specifically say how to find a good or bad reader, especially for me, because like a lot of these things happen to me.
Yeah.
And then Kate, I already knew, and I got lucky. She happens to be amazingly, wonderfully connected, but I already knew her. But I think if you do know someone, or if you're following someone, like now we have social media and all these kind of places, you could pick up on someone's energy. You can understand what they're saying. Like Tori is fucking amazing. Yes. And again, you had just been connected to her, but now I follow her on Instagram and I hear the things that she's saying. And it's like, this person obviously knows their shit.
Right.
So I think you can do a deep dive on that. Sometimes it's just a website.
Yeah.
And you're like understanding the messaging or like I think there are ways to pick up on it. And if it's super expensive and you're like gonna really be put out for doing it, don't do
that.
it.
Right. Exactly. For sure. I feel like we should probably just move on to the message.
Yeah.
So let's see what the vibe is right now. But like, I just love these stories so much. There's just so much there, around, okay. So I'm pulling a message of, for the collective. I've got the Hierophant, the Three of Wands, and the Knight of Wands. So for me, hold on, let me just feel into these cards for a second, because it kind of feels like it's this fast moving, there's like this like exploration travel vibe. This like, it's, and I'm being pulled to the Knight of Wands here. It's like, get on your horse and fucking go. There's like, this is like an action deck. I think with the Hierophant, it's like trusting that higher self, that like your intuition, your gut, but it's not like a time of like planning. It's like a go time.
Well, it's interesting. And I know we're not supposed to do this because it sets time, but yesterday was the full moon in Capricorn, which is exactly the energy you're describing.
Totally. Making choices quickly, like moving quickly, not second guessing yourself, like
it's time to take action.
Just go.
And on all the things you've been building up to this point, it's right. It's there. Don't question yourself.
So, and the second guessing like has to go away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's
beautiful.
The vibe is like, I'm like my heart started beating faster. It's like just quick.
Wow.
Quick, but good, but like very positive and
yeah, and it doesn't matter the time that
read
it because it resonates exactly with whenever you pick up on it.
Exactly.
So.
Yes. I love that. But I love you.
Yeah,
And this was fun.
Yeah, it was crazy. I'm sure we have a million more things we could.
Oh
talk
my God,
about,
I know.
but-
We could do this for 8 hours.
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.